be with friends, to just be where you can speak the truth, what you are feeling. And with this connection, and it really, now it's recording, but what words cannot express, like the gratitude, the connection, the unity. I can say the unity. And this is why it's so important to meet some friends, you know. So please continue it about this. I know.
Yes, Passover in a way is miracle, not just a Passover. Passover, it means to skip the time and space, to cancel duality, to cancel the matrix. This is the meaning of Passover. Is Pesach. Pesach is like 148. If we take the letters of Pesach and we decode it in number, is 148. Is one. This is Pesach, 148. And I would like to move from Pesach to Sarah, and let's move and see what happens. The Lord says that Sarah could not conceive because she did not have a womb. Have you heard this law before, Cindy? Fernando? Have you heard this before, or is the first time that you hear this law?
I think that I heard once from oral tradition. It is oral tradition, like in the classes you mentioned it once.
Yeah. So Rechem is a womb, and the value of Rechem. Yeah, your volume is down. Yes, Rechem. Let's write it. Did you hear? Cindy, that Sarah could not conceive because she did not have any womb? Have you heard this before about Sarah? Yes. What does it mean? That she lacked the organ of it? Of course not. So what is it about? If it's not about the organ, what is it about? What do they speak about in the laws, in the Midrash? What does it mean that she did not have a womb? And womb, remember, is not an organ, because if we move between the word womb in Hebrew, rechem, into numbers, the value is 248. The same value as in the desert, Bamidbar. So what does it mean that she did not have a womb? Yes, it means that she did not have a sense of space and time. Again, what does it mean that, according to the law, that she did not have a womb? She did not have the sense of space and time. Space and time is manifested by the word rechem. Yes, of duality, of course. Rechem in Hebrew is not just womb in English, is the movement between 2 to 4 to 8. This is the duality. Yes, of course. Cindy is asking, just for the recording, I want to read may I read your question? Fernando, can you read Cindy's question?
So, Cindy's question, is this along the lines of her not aging? Nice.
Yes, of course. There is no sense of time, sense of space and time. Therefore, she did not have a womb. Or, in a way, how do you say, she did not have any concept. Womb, again, not as an organ or 3D printer. Yes? Womb 248 is the ability to conceive a concept that can conceive space and time. But she did not have a womb. She did not have any concept to conceive nor space and time, because space and time did not resonate with her. Yes? It's the meaning of not having a womb, not having any sense of space and time or duality or duration in time. This is why she's so beautiful. She is infinitely beautiful because as infinite she can, how do you say, host any option of manifestation, because she has none. She has no concept. She cannot be conceived and she is not a concept. Now, let's get into this story as the Bible describes that Abram and Sarah were getting closer to Egypt. And she was taken by the ministers of Pharaoh. What does it mean? Because when we speak about Sarah, yes, it's not about a person. What does it mean? Sarah represents the infinite potential of all times, in all spaces. What does it mean that the ministers of Pharaoh are taking her to the palace? Not Abram, but Sarah. What does it mean? Yes, Fernando, can you read Cindy's answer?
He wanted to catch the infinite and manipulate it in the knowledge from the tree.
They want to have, yes, a grasp. They want to catch something from the infinite and to build a form around it. Yes, they want to have a form. Yes, this is the meaning of taking Sarah. And Sarah was taken into the palace, and the ministers of Pharaoh just gives her compliments. Yes, this is how Vayehaleluha, they praise her. The ministers of Pharaoh are praising Sarah for the ability to have multiple or infinite ways, yes, to be manifested. They want to catch the, like you say, the canary in the cellar. They want to catch the bird, and we have it, but it doesn't happen because you cannot catch it. This is why Pharaoh later releases her, because it is impossible to put a box or a jail around the potential and say, people saying we're having it. And from this way, we can see how the suffering of humans is coming. Yes, this the human suffering comes from this act that we can already see in the Bible. Our miserable trial all the time, and it happens also mechanically. This is how the brain works. The brain, rechem, womb, has inside the two letters of brain, moach, rechem. Rechem has the two letters of moach, memchet. Yes? The brain is always constantly searching for concept to conceive the infinite in it and to say, I am having it. Yes? And the sense of having it is making us miserable and suffering because we can never have it. No one can, human's mind cannot contain the infinity. Just as it comes in the moment, drop by drop. So a lot of suffering comes from the mental activity of trying to catch something which is not containable, attainable, graspable, because it's nothing. Infinite is nothing. And the brain is always looking for something. So the search will be the mental. This is how the brain works. The search will be always for something. The brain will never look for nothing, because according to the brain perception, nothing cannot be perceived in its radar. Fernando, does it resonate with a friend?
A lot, it is. A lot, yes.
Let's give us the image that, let's say, imaginary country. Let's say we all live in an imaginary country on an island somewhere. And there is like security systems and radars that scanning that any vehicle or a vessel will arrive at night from the sea, from the air, to disturb the people that live in the island. So all the systems are tuned to catch something, a revelation of light, a boat, a diver, a sniper, something. But the system, the security system, which are, let's say, were located to protect the island, are not programmed to catch nothing, to catch air, only something. If there is a suspicious movement next to the fence, footsteps, let's say, they will catch it, they will film it, there's a radio signal, is something. They will broadcast this as a threat. But the security system will never broadcast nothing as something. And this is what the brain does all the time. We always look, all of us, for something. But infinite or peace of mind is not something. It is nothing or nothingness. This is where happiness is. The sorrow or the suffering of people comes from the notion that the signal that the brain gives, I'm having it in brackets or not having it. There's always a conditional situation that the brains suggest to us all the time. This is 1 or 0. Yes, you have it or you don't have it. You have what you wanted, you have what you wrote on a list, on a paper in the morning or on a notepad. You have it or you don't. If you have it, you should be happy. If no, you should be sad. This is a conditional. 1 or 0. All it's a computerized machine. We are computerized in a way, the brain. But Sarah, and this is the beautiful about Sarah, she did not have it. She did not have a notion, or when we speak about Sarah, not as a person, but what Sarah is. It's open, infinite possibilities. So there is no frame, there is no, in a way, there is no concept. This is why it's so beautiful, because it is nothing and it is transparent. Shabbat Shalom, Abigail. We are very happy to see you here. Now, regardless of the story, just look at the numbers. Rechem, or in the desert of time. We're also happy to see you here. Is 248. A concept of life in time and space is 248. And Pesach is 148. This is 1. So what is so miraculous in this Passover, a sense of freedom? That in a way the movement or the cancelling, the two becomes 1. It's non-2. Non-2. So it's not a womb, and it's not a brain, and it's not a sense of time and space, and it's not the way to do 40 years in the desert of duality. It's just none of these, non-2. And this is one, this is Passover. So we can look at it through words, we can look at it through numbers, we can look at this idea through lores and legends. But it is basically non duality, it's not two canceling the matrix of time. And when does the promise that she will have, because the promise that Sarah and Abraham received was today, in Passover time. Michael, Archangel, says next year, this time, your wife, Sarah, will have a son. This is today. The promise was today. What is today? Spring. Miracle, so to speak. Not because she wanted or she needed it, because it just comes. Exactly, Cindy. So, the promise or the day or the time of the year in which Michael, Archangel, came to them and giving this beautiful message about the son that Sarah will have. Please pay attention. The Bible says, "Uven lesara ishtecha." It is a son to your wife Sarah. They speak, or angel Michael speak to Abraham in this time. But the words, "Uven lesara ishtecha," and a son to Sarah your wife, it's not even the son of whom? When Michael says, I can read the verse, it is possible for us to look at Genesis 18 and look at the words in English or in Hebrew. Michael says, Uven lesara ishtecha, this time of the year. Next year, Sarah, your wife, will have a son. In other words, what the angel does not say, Fernando, or anyone who wants to answer this question. How Michael speak? In what way? To whom does he turn to?
Abraham.
Saying that, Uven lesara ishtecha, and this time of the year, Sarah, your wife, will have a son. What he does not say. Who shall have a son next year?
Right. And Abraham.
No. Again. Okay. Uven lesara ishtecha. And a son, and I translate word by word, a son to your wife, Sarah. So who will have the son?
Aaron.
Sarah. Sarah will have the son. It's not Abram's son. Because if it was Abraham's son, it's supposed to be conceived in space and time. Because Abraham, the value of Abraham is 248. Isn't that right?
Yes.
But this is not Abraham's son. It is Sarah's. Therefore, this child will have as closest as possible to infinite life. He shall live 180 years. So, from here, from this speech of Michael Archangel, we can see that Isaac, or laughter, or joy, or happiness, is not of consequence of space and time, cannot come from here, from the manifestation, can only come from the infinite. Therefore, he is not Abraham's son, which brings us to a very much and deeper idea. What Abraham thought to himself when he went to Mount Moriah, yes, to his offering, which is not his, or to bring as an offering anyone if he's not the father. Do you see the depths of this idea? How deep it is? Isaac, yes, is not Abraham's son. He is not. Yes, Fernando?
No, I was just thinking about the how deep it because it is quite difficult even to explain about this idea of Sarai not being attached to time and space, and the son Isaac that is I shall laugh like a symbol to what is beyond time and space as well, like what you said in other classes about this quality. So it is quite beautiful. Yes.
And Isaac gets his name not because his mother, so to speak, or Abraham are giving the name. Yes, this is infinite consciousness gives the name Isaac. He shall laugh. Yes, gives a child a name. If someone has a deep sense of joy or happiness, and it's not conditioned, let's say, in the weather, or if it's a good cake or good coffee, because those things that the senses can perceive, a taste, warmth, smell, they here manifested in time and space. But if you feel a sudden joy that you can, in a way, you cannot even define where does it come from or what is the reason, because the mind or the brain always search for reason. Why? Because this is how the brain sees things in duration, in time. There's a cause and effect. But if you feel sudden joy that comes from nowhere, and you don't have to speak about it, or sometimes it is being let's say canalized to hold a guitar, to write something, to lift a telephone call, or to type a message. It comes from nowhere. So it comes from the infinite. And this is the promise. And this is the promise. There is a beautiful speech, if you, in most of the books, or how people perceive Abraham, is that uber wise, and there's a lot of things are going which are very, very subtle in the text, because Abraham complains previously and says to God, Hen li lo natata zera. Indeed, to me you did not give a seed, and my assistant Eliezer is inheriting me. This is how he not complains, but he pours his heart and says, Veli lo natata zera. And for me, you did not give a seed someone to continue. And God says what He says. There is an answer. And then comes Hagar into the picture, and Ishmael is being born. But Isaac, and here we go to, if you see what is written between the lines, Isaac is not the son of Abraham. He cannot come from time and space. Yes, Fernando, can you read Cindy's words?
The joy of the Lord is our strength, life. So it is the wisdom of Sarah to offer the handmaid. It's the only option for what Abraham is asking.
Excellent. You want a seed? Here is a seed. Human life. So there is like Ishmael. But Isaac comes from completely different realm. Not because Abraham is yearning, because he's begging. I would like to have children, and you don't give me. In our daily life conversation, I want children and you don't give me. This is what Abraham says. So if you want children, so take the maid from the side. If you want something, take from the side, a side dish. This is what Sarah says. But Isaac does not come because Abraham is asking, not because neither of them is asking, because Abraham request already being answered. There is Ishmael. Isaac is given because he comes. Sarah never asked. Remember that. Sarah does not need it. She does not need a son. She does not need condition at all. She doesn't need space and time at all. Isaac comes because there's a great will that he will appear here, but not because Sarah wants or Sarah needs it. So, in a way, there are two sons here: the son of time and space, Ishmael from Abraham, and the son that comes from the infinite, Isaac, comes through Sarah. So, Sarah, in a way, is the sky, and Abraham, in this case, is the earth. The promise to Abraham is that thy seed, yes, will be immigrant in a foreign land. Is the speech to Abraham? Is the speech to time and space? It's not a speech to Sarah. Have you noticed this when you read the Bible? That this promise or this speech comes to Abraham, not to Sarah. When someone has or feels this joy that is unconditional, he does not no one needs to be saved. once there's a notion of that we have never been born and we shall never die, is none of these two. There's no appearance or disappearance. There is only being. There is no need in salvation because the request to be saved or forgiven only comes from the concept of space and time. No one needs to be saved. There is nothing that we have done wrong, doing wrong, or we shall do wrong, because we are not the doers and we are not sinners. I saw like a few days ago a baptism that they baptize the babies against the sinful of this world, and this perception that the child is not being yet born, he's also a sinner and you need to protect him and so on. Nobody is a sinner because no one is capable of doing anything. Give you an example from yesterday happening. Look how the mind is tricking or the brain is tricking. Fernando, a story for your friend. It happened yesterday. Evening of Pesach, Friday is the last few hours, 1 or 2 hours before the closed supermarkets. And I was going to the bay to bring last few things. It was still the most spacious supermarket in the area, but still, because it's the evening of holiday or it's like before Christmas, very, very rush hour. All positions were occupied, self-checkouts and so. I was going to the checkout, I would say moving through the few things that bought, paid, and just leave the supermarket, walking to the bus station home. When I said to myself I would like to listen to music on the way home, and I put my fingers into my handbag at the back where the phone is with the headset, and there's no phone. There isn't any. And it was late, so usually if something is forgotten, what people do, what I did in the past, you leave the bus station and you go back when you think you forgot or disappeared and ask if have they seen this phone or something. But I continue. It was like afternoon, and I continued because I was carrying how do you say, a handbag. The other thing was like a tote bag with a matzah packages of 2.5 kilos. It's quite long. And I said, now with this, I will move back to the supermarket. I'll stay on the bus and deal with the consequences of there's no phone, because everything is connected to the phones and so payments. And in this few hours that the bus was moving, few minutes, sorry, on the way home, for me it was few hours. Because the journey that the mind or the brain was doing in this, immediately there's snapshots. The mind, the brain brings you all the snapshots in the supermarket where you walked between the shelves. What did you do? Where could you forget the phone? How could it disappear? You were taking little wagon, high wagon. How could his phone be disappeared? And the only thing, how lucrative the brain is, and I admit it because this is a sharing, so I share from the heart. My only assumption in the bus was that regardless of the things that I have to do to inform this and that and to cancel this and that, was assumption that I was pocket somewhere when I was attending the self checkout, The handbag with his back pocket was open. The headset with the string thread was revealed to the eye. And maybe somebody just, pocketed out. And then, because it's very easy to accuse, so to speak, the surrounding in what is happening. Either it fell, I did not notice, either someone pocketed me when I was attending the screen, and just holidays and people. And then I said, okay, and if it's gone and he forgot it, okay. And if it fell on the floor, okay. And if someone pocket you, okay. Everything. And then I just listened to the quietness of the passenger, and the bus was full with people. It's like before Christmas, but people were happily quiet in this vibrating air of the holiday. And there was peace. And then I stopped struggle. And I say, whatever happens, I will arrive home and do what is necessary for the things to do, the A, B, C, D. And then I thought, but who would pocket and why? Everybody's so busy, and they have to everybody has arranged a few things for the holidays. So everybody is so focused, and what do they have to do in front of the holidays? Why would they do such a thing? Because they've just focused it. They have to host many people. They have to cook, and it's wintry again. I made peace with it. There's peace in the bus. People are having just a moment. I just listened to the air, not to the brain, and listened to the air, which is empty. And I said, whatever it is, I'll come home and we shall deal with it. And the station to come came. I clicked on the button. The door is open. I moved my left arm, my left palm. I don't know how. I don't know how. I moved it to my left back pocket of the jeans. I don't know how just the hand moved. And I took from the left pocket of the back, the side of the jeans in the back, I took the phone out. You see what a journey, what the brain is, how lucrative it is. Since I came to the bus, and usually I put it in my handbag, so I assumed, again, this is assumption, that it will be there. Probably it was so hectic in the supermarket, and I wrote a few messages that I did not notice that I put it in the jeans in the back pocket. But somehow it was not registered. And the journey, which is usually by the bus few minutes, in my mind, I was going through 10 or 15 different scenarios of what is happening now when the phone is there being pocketed or being forgotten or smashed on the floor somewhere. And I don't know, still now. And I'm relieved to tell you that it was just a storm inside, because suddenly how the hand moved, because I was oppositing in the bus my handbag few times, looking inside it, not this cell and another cell and not this, but it was not in the handbag. Of course, because where was it? In the back pocket of the jeans pants on the left side, which I never even thought to look for. And this is how it is. And the few minutes that the bus took to arrive home, for me, it was like few years. It felt to me like few years. And this is a great parable of our lives, because what we tell to ourselves is completely different than what is really happening. What is really happening is so simple. And what we tell ourselves is so overly complicated. Fernando, this is a
It is
story
a
to you.
great story. It's a great story. and it is quite what happens all the time, you know, like it seems that it is a trap, you know, the brain knows how to put us a trap to hook us,
Yes.
you know.
And you and you know how many times I accused myself, Mike, look at the court inside, accused myself of any step in the supermarket. Here you
Yes,
took, yes, a step here and you looked into this, and here you took a step. I judged myself at least 15 times how I was wrong on every step in the supermarket. If this is a story to your friend, I don't know what it
no,
is.
it's great. It's great that we are always. What I was thinking while you were speaking is that it looks like a trap, you know, that you are catched. Like the brain is always trying. Not only the brain, people already know this through marketing and all kind of stuff. How to hook us in a trap, you know, how to hook
Yeah.
us in a in something that is not to be there. And I was
Yes.
remembering Jacob, you know, because Jacob has this ability to not fall in the trap from Laban and also all from his brother, like he's martyr to not fall. But I was just thinking about this. It's about this ability, you know, to somehow uh, fool the brain,
Yes.
to 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 fool the brain because well, we are looking, we can be hooked by international economic policy that now is in all newspapers. We can be hooked by uh, football team. I don't know anything, you know, from marketing. It's easy to hook us, and you start to make scenarios like what you're just saying. Well, if happens this, I will do that. If happens that, I will do that, and
Yes.
it's all a great lie sometimes.
Yes. Yes. The conditional is a great lie, and you allude to. I would not say that I entertained myself deliberately, but it was horrible scenario because you just walking in your mind in all kinds of conditions, which is, and we do this all the time. We do this all the time, but again, it's not our doership. This is the machine. This is how it is programmed. And then when I touched the pocket and I felt the phone, I felt that the phone was always here. Is like the being. The being is always here. It's not conditional. It's always here. So there was like a lot of peace with it because I asked myself already in the bus, but why don't you leave the bus if you're so convinced that you forgot it or it was pocketed? Why don't you return to the supermarket? But something like a higher, I don't know what it is, like a higher power just continue with the tote bag and the handbag home. I did not return. I continue. So something above everything was very quiet. There is a beautiful, it's not just a lore, that after Pharaoh released Sarah, he gave her a letter of marriage. He wanted to marry, but it did not happen. But he gave her like inheritance, promised in writing. He released her, but he promised her the northern of Egypt for her descendants. Later, the children of Jacob went to Egypt and they lived in a place called Eretz Goshen. Eretz Goshen. Goshen has the same value as happiness. Again, Goshen has the same value of happiness, laughter, joy. Porto Alegre, Porto Alegre, Fernando. When you feel, whether we catch it or not, the relation to infinite is always like inner joy and happiness. This is what it is about. Holiday, Passover, spring. This is unconditional. Any questions or sharing? No, I can't. Can anyone hear Fernando? Cindy, Abigail, can you hear Fernando? No. Yes, please. I don't know why I can't hear you. Yes. Yes, yes. About chametz. Chametz is the sour, yes. The yeast, yes, and more, yes. Abigail, can you speak? Cindy, can you speak? Can we hear you? You can ask Fernando. It seems that there is no sound at the moment. Yes, here, Fernando. I don't see. Maybe Fernando logged out. Abigail, can you speak? Cindy? Yes, Fernando? Can you hear? Yes, what would you like to ask about chametz and more? Yes, the letters of chametz, maybe this is what you mean. I'm trying chametz. Chametz is sour or yeast, yes, and it holds the letters of moach. Yes, moach, the brain. Yes, yes, it holds the letters. Yes. So this is there is a tradition, yes, before the holiday starts is to clean 10 places from sourness. Yes, it's not just physical like drops of crumbs of bread, but the brain. The brain is always very hot, yes, and goes through the process. The brain itself is a expression of yeast. Yes, it needs duration in time, and then it plots, it writes you a very beautiful story, tragic story of your life, our life, how miserable we are. This is the sourness, chametz, chometz, that already holds the letters of brain, moach. Moach Also Cham. Cham is hot. We say hot-headed people. But just since you mentioned the word chametz or chometz, there's a beautiful part in the scroll of Ruth, Megillat Ruth, in which it's a very hot day and it's the harvest season, and Boaz is how do you say, offering Ruth. He takes a toast and he dipped the toasted bread in brine, chometz, and he handed his toast in brine to her. Yes, as a turning of grace to ease the heat. Again, he takes a toasted bread, he dip it in vinegar, chometz in Hebrew. Vinegar in Hebrew is also chometz. He dip the toasted bread in chometz, in brine, yes, to ease the heat, because they're working in the field and it's very hot. In the harvest season, it's very hot. And when they sit to rest and they eat something, he takes a toasted bread, dip it in brine, chometz, and gives it to her. And this is the beginning of their encounter. You remember this part in the field? It's a beautiful story. Yes. To ease the heat. Whenever we eat brine or vinegar, is to reduce the heat. Yes, in the blood. The blood circulates, also nourishing the brain. So whenever we eat something with brine in the hot days or vinegar, it is easing the heat. Thank you so much. Would you like to share anything, Fernando, Cindy, Abigail? Ask something. Yes, Abigail, I'm thinking about the instruction Naomi gave Ruth to sleep not with him, but under his feet, under his feet. Yes, it's a relation of a student and a teacher, so to speak. Yes, it's like yes, under his feet. Yes, we can speak about it. We can speak about it. Thank you. Maybe on Monday. Why not? Thank you so much for being here with us today. Wishing you a happy Passover. You're most welcome to ask questions, Fernando. If you have something that you would like to ask or to lift the phone, everything is possible. You're all invited to call, to ask, to type. We are here all the time for you. תודה רבה, Shabbat Shalom, Chag Sameach, and see you soon. Happy Passover. Happy to see this, Abigail. I hope you can hear. Chag Sameach and happy baking for all.